Well, we got another doozy coming up for you. I only saw this video once, very early this morning. I haven't watched it since, so everything is going to be completely off the cuff, as usual. Here we go.
Also tonight, police say they have the driver who raced in and out of traffic on the LIE. News 12 Long Island's Christine Insinger has the very latest in the story you saw first on 12.
This is video News 12 reported on last Friday of two cars flying down the LIE, leaving in and out of traffic.
Does anybody want to guess what they're driving?
Passenger recording it all on cell phone. The video was posted to Facebook and News.
Okay, right there. First of all, I'm sorry about the blinds behind me. There's a cat in the window. So, they were driving recklessly and decided to video it, making it more reckless. And then, of course, posted it on Fuckbook. Where else? Why would you possibly go and do that? That's the kind of thing that if you want to record and you did it, it goes to a close circle of friends and that's it. It doesn't go any further than that. People have a tendency to post fucking anything online. Now, you've all seen stuff like this before. Like the girl who has the curling iron and she's got her hair in the thing or whatever and she's dancing to music or something and then she lets go with a clamp on it and her hair burned the fuck off.
Kidding me.
That is something that you didn't have to post to the internet. And if you didn't post it, nobody else would know about it. You know, you wear a hat or something and you keep it covered up and it wouldn't be a big deal at all. People, like, they think that by posting a video or something like that, and, you know, of whatever kind of content it is, that because there's a screen in front of them, nobody can see through their screen to see that it's actually them. Like these dicks driving their cars recklessly, you know, nobody knows exactly who it is. Obviously, there's license plates involved, and they could have edited the video to block that out, provided nobody else was texting while driving and happened to capture video of that also, but that's another story entirely. Anyway, why the fuck would you post this in a public place on, of all places, Fuckbook? So that way all kinds of people can see this shit and say, oh, you're the dick who cut me off. Fucking absolutely brilliant upstairs. Brilliant.
12 shared it with Nassau Police.
I want to just take a minute and thank News 12 for their coverage and for bringing this information forward.
We immediately went to our social media monitors. They started to data mine through that social media. They located a comment made by Mr. Anderson actually telling the guys, take it down before I get in trouble. Well, that was a little too late.
Police say that
Exactly. Oh, love that digital corruption.
this guy, 23-year-old Darren Anderson of the Bronx, was the man driving this blue BMW in this...
Driving this blue BMW. Well, holy shit. Who could have guessed that one? He owns the fucking road, cuts you off, and 15 other fucking people so he can take a video and put it on Fuckbook. Fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, these people. You can't tell, but that's the closest I can get for you. And, that's a BMW, all right.
At speeds of more than 100 miles per hour. He was arrested yesterday.
I think it's a speed derby, that's not.
Some motorists we spoke with say that reckless driving is such a problem on the LIE that they do everything they can to avoid the road.
And I'll take the northern state of exit 42 and jump back to the LA, back in the city.
For that reason?
Yeah, I just don't want to be bothered with the trucks. I don't want to be bothered with the cars that are zooming in and out.
Investigate.
He's actually got a very valid point. And what do we have here?
Investigators say Anderson was on his way to a BMW rally with dozens.
Oh, a BMW rally. Oh, I couldn't imagine. Could you imagine the stuck-up, nosed fuck goofery that must happen at a fucking BMW rally? Hey man, I drove over 100 miles an hour. Check out this video on my phone. Look what I did. Look what I did. Oh yeah, real good, bro. Real good, real good. I think that they really do take that course of how to drive like an asshole. I really do. It's like a mandatory fucking course before you can drive such a piece of shit. Such as a big money waste. Unfucking believable. That actually reminds me. Many years ago, when I had my old 81 Chevy Citation, the wife and I took that car all the way out to Montauk Point on Long Island. And it actually did fairly well. I actually got a flat tire along the way, which turns out it wasn't a tire at all. It was actually a valve stem. But anyway, we took that car and we got stuck in all sorts of traffic way out on the East End. And it turns out that a BMW had rear-ended another car. And all kinds of shit was leaking out of it onto the road and all kinds of stuff. And boy, I smiled from ear to ear on that one. And that was like, I mean, cell phones were around, but not like it is today with the crazy bullshit and texting and shit like that. Boy, that was a real happy time. And that car that I had, that 81 Chevy, actually did almost 25 miles to the gallon going out there and back, which was exceptional. I believe it had the Iron Duke 4-cylinder in it, and it had, I think it was rated for like 85 horsepower when new. Probably had about 30 horsepower in it when I drove it. But anyway, back to the story.
Of other BMW owners.
He pulled up alongside of one, they eyed each other, and it was off to the races.
Hey, you drive BMW too? Let's go, man. Let's cut everybody off on the road. And he tipped his fucking hat to the other guy. He really fucking did.
It's not a NASCAR track. This is the Long Island Expressway. And if anybody ever sees one of these things happen, come by you at this rate of speed. It's outright insanity.
Look at these
By
dicks.
the grace of God, nobody was killed.
Anderson was released on an appearance ticket for reckless driving, which is a misdemeanor. Crumpler today says the
That was a misdemeanor, by the way.
misdemeanor. Rules of the road need to be changed in New York State so that driving like that would be considered a felony. Police say they are still looking for at least 2 other people in connection with this reckless driving incident. If you have any information on the crime, you're urged to call Nassau Crime Stoppers at 1-800-244-TIPS.
So, it seems that what I've been saying all this time has been true. You always hear about the BMWs, the Lincolns, the Lexuses, the list goes on and on. This shit has got to stop. It really does. This shit has got to stop. People have to share the fucking road. And don't try to be a dick. The best that could ever happen to one of these dicks that does that is they spin out, flip the car end over end 6 times and end up killing themselves and nobody else. That way they got their just desserts. Anyway, that's it on this story. There was a little more to it, but I can't show it to you because the story is no longer up there. But I'll tell you what it was because I thought that it was really interesting. Here's the name of the story here. Now, reckless driving and all that, well, I'll tell you, people don't know how to spell reckless. This is the correct spelling. In the previous story, but like I said, I didn't get a chance to get that story up here before it disappeared early this morning. It said reckless, properly spelled just like this, but when you went in there, they always had those big TVs behind them, and they spelled it with a W in front of it. That still reads as reckless, but it's the wrong kind. Because having a reckless driving means what most of us aspire to do every day. Not have a wreck. Reckless with a W means don't have a wreck. It's that simple. And they get it wrong all the time. There was another story years and years and years ago where they had they have this shit like SAD or MAD, Students Against Drunk Driving, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. You know, it should be like MADD and SADD now. Students Against Texting Drivers and Mothers Against Texting Drivers. I have 3 kids! But anyway, there was some lady whose daughter got killed by some sort of reckless driver, and they wanted stiffer penalties for them or some crap like that. And they made all these signs. They printed up on, like, well, we used to call it oak tag back in the day, signboards, poster boards, whatever the fuck you call it now. Anyways, they had these things, and they all spelled them with a fucking W. The mother, whose daughter was killed by a reckless driver, wanted stiffer penalties for those who don't have a WREC. She was against reckless drivers. Unreal. Total fucking retardation. You know, there used to be this big thick book like that. It was called a dictionary. Now we don't even need that anymore. Because you can just go on your fucking phone while you're driving and go ahead and punch up reckless and see that the spelling with the W is incorrect. And it will suggest, very, very most likely, the spelling of an R in the front instead of a W.
Oh, Catalan is all of us.
And that's all you had to do. Hey, it would have saved on printing up the poster board, you know, whether they use Sharpie markers or whatever the fuck. It would have lasted, you know, 3 more CDs that nobody makes anymore. That you'd scribble on bullshit or whatever the fuck. Anyway, too much rambling. Anyway, like I said, another BMW driver. At least he was fucking caught. And I like that kind. So, all you BMW drivers out there and other high-end cars, make sure you video it next time you do it and put it on Fuckbook. And maybe you can get not only on the news, but on the JK18 channel. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, sorry about the interruption.